Welcome, everyone. This is Tracy and Wagner with Versatile Inspirations. And today I'm going to continue on this series of looking at our shadow side and what that truly means. It's not bad, it is actually empowering. And today we'll be discussing lightworkers have shadows too, just so that you can see what it is that we're talking about with shadows, and how maybe you can just kind of grab onto them and have it empower you to be a better light worker even. So let me screen share and we'll get started. All right, so like I was saying, we are discussing light workers have shadows too. So just to start out, what is a light worker? Well, a light worker or an earth angel are people who actually go out and are being of service to others. That could include other people, animals, plants, the environment, the land, anything that you are being of service to. Also, being helpful, someone that is just naturally helpful or goes out of their way to be helpful. Feelings of empathy. If you're very empathetic or empathic, then you probably have a tendency towards being a light worker or an earth angel. Someone that if you feel someone's in need, or if you feel compassion for people, places, things, animals, plants, the environment, then you're probably going to be helpful and to those causes. You're going to feel that empathy towards that, and you're going to want to be of service and help. Someone that raises the vibration. Now, there's a lot of people who that just have that being about them. If you have ever been in the company of someone whose vibration stays at a very high level and you're in that sphere, what happens is they are basically holding space for others to raise their vibrations as well. You may even be one of those people that just exudes this beautiful joy and love about you, that anybody that walks into your presence, their vibration rises. Now, some people aren't ready for that, and they may get angry for no reason when they're in your presence. And the only reason for that is because of basically their shadow side. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. It's very interesting how when people are not aware of those things inside of us that keep us blocked or that keep us from advancing, it blocks us from doing those things. And when we have someone in our sphere that has a love and joy and gratitude vibration, sometimes we get a little annoyed. And that is just because we haven't done our own work to be able to accept that higher vibration at that time. And so if you have someone, or you know someone, or you are someone who exudes that love vibration, that is the highest divine vibration, and just be aware that not everyone who comes into that sphere is going to be ready to have their vibration raised. But it is a beautiful thing, especially those people that just walk around with that and allow others to have their vibrations raised. They help you connect with the divine, with your divine self, with your higher self. They help you connect with that. When you connect with that, you're able to find your soul purpose, your life purpose, and you're able to just really communicate with your higher self a lot easier. And there's many different levels to that, whether that is psychic development, whether that is healing I mean, there's so many different levels to connecting with the divine, connecting with the spirit, our spirit self, our higher vibration, our higher self, that it's an ongoing learning experience. And so those light workers and earth angels that help us learn to connect with the divine are so helpful. They are reminders. They help to remind you of who you truly are. Who are you? You are a beautiful, divine, spiritual being having an earthly experience. And so when you are reminded that just because things seem very material, just because things seem they don't seem right sometimes. And so when you're reminded that this is all an experience, when you are able to connect with your divine higher self, your spirit self, you are able to tap into your reality, the real you, and it makes things much easier. You see reasons why doors don't seem to open. Maybe that's actually helpful to you. Maybe you're not supposed to have those doors. It's interesting that when we see a door or we feel a door that may be of our benefit, and yet as we get closer, it seems like it just moves away from us. But on the other hand, if we see a door or feel a door, feel something that we feel might be a vibrational match of what we should be doing to advance or what we're supposed to be doing, and we go towards that door should open wide and feel like it's coming at you and it's getting bigger and bigger and open wider and wider. That's when you really know that that is what you're supposed to truly be doing. It just feels right. Everything as you're going towards that goal, dream, wish, or desire, it just opens up even more serendipitous moments, more opportunities. And so that's how we really see where we're reminded of who we truly are. It's when we are able to remember that we're here for a purpose and we can move forward with that purpose. These and much more are what I term light workers or earth angels. So, our shadow side. A lot of people, I've heard of a lot of people who want to become light workers, are termed earth angels, or would like to be earth angels, but they fall into two different camps a lot of times. The people who want to be, but realize they have a shadow side. And then the others, light workers or earth angels, that don't accept the idea of anything other than love and light. And trust me, I've been through this myself. I totally understand that because both camps. I understand not wanting to term yourself a light worker or earth angel because you have these, you're not perfect, right? There are these things that make us not perfect. And being a light worker and not wanting to acknowledge anything other than love and light, because we want to shower people with that love and light. We don't want people to feel dragged down by shadows or by blockages. And so that's really where the healing begins, right? Is when we accept those shadow parts of ourselves and others, just look at them as blockages or those parts that actually keep us safe, because our egoic parts of us want us to be safe. Our subconscious mind, when it sees an instance where maybe we've been hurt before, or maybe something didn't work out, it tries to protect us. And so it creates that shadow or blockage and trying to keep us safe from feeling hurt, angry, upset, disappointed, any of those things. And so when we feel that way, we actually create even more blockages and things. So what I want to just term that shadow side, like I did in the last video, which I'll leave a link for that since it's a little series. It's a 3-series video series. So I'll link that below. You can go and view that one as well. But our shadow side, just to be quick about it, what is a shadow? It is a dark image cast from a body intercepting light. So it's just that shadow. It's an imperfect or faint representation. So it's an imperfect representation of perfection. So it's just a piece of us that isn't quite ready for that light to seep in. It's an obscurity within a space which, rays from a source of light, are limited or cut off. It's something that, and sometimes it feels like even if we try and put a light on that shadow or that blockage, then what happens is it kind of still retreats. It keeps going back and just kind of cowering back and staying out of that light. And it's just, and sometimes it can just make us angry even more. It can make us upset. Why can't I get rid of these shadows? Why can't I get rid of these blockages? Why do these things happen to me all the time? Why does this appear when I'm going for my goals? Why am I blocked from receiving? So these are all shadows. These are all bits and pieces of us that we feel are imperfections. But these imperfections, quite literally, are our perfections. It causes shade, its cover, dimness, protection, and shelter. And don't we all want those things? Definitely. We seek those things sometimes. And the shadow is actually there to help us achieve some of those things. So a lot of times when we see in ourselves, especially those shadow pieces, we want to reject them. And when we are rejecting them, we're rejecting ourselves. We're rejecting the person that we are. We're rejecting the being that we are. And that can create a lot of problems. It's like we have a hole in us that can't be filled. It's like there is this part of us that doesn't feel perfect enough. We don't feel worthy. We don't feel good enough. We don't feel like we can have the things that we want due to patterns or circumstances or anything. And so all we are casting is this negative shadow that just keeps even our shadows from coming into the light because we've rejected them. And sometimes if we are light workers or earth angels, sometimes seeing that makes us reject it even more. That's why we think maybe if I just shower it all with love and light and just it'll diminish. But what we really need to be doing is accepting ourselves. So we can see where that anger just creates even more anger, that just creates more contempt, and our empathic abilities become diminished because we become so annoyed with ourselves, with our inability to receive that perfect stamp of approval, that it just makes even more things seem to go wrong. It makes you feel depressed, alone, like you're the only one going through these things, like you have no one else to talk to, in just a desperate depression that helps you not at all. It doesn't help you, it doesn't help those around you, and it doesn't help you become the light worker or earth angel that you truly are. You are truly that divine being. And when we reject those shadow parts of ourselves, we're really rejecting the divine being that we truly are. If we were perfect in every way imaginable, we wouldn't be here. We would have ascended, because what would you have to learn? What would you have to release or let go or learn to love about anyone and everyone, including yourself? We're here really to learn how to be with others, how to be with other things, how to accept ourselves just as we are. Because when we come back into our true form, when we come back to our divine self, our spirit self, and our twin flames become one, then we actually have learned everything from here, and it makes us a better, whole, beautiful, divine being. We can see where we've learned, where we've grown, and how we can share that with others. And it even whether you're here in the physical or you're back in spirit. So rejecting even the shadow parts of ourselves, it doesn't truly help. It creates so much discordance within and without. It shrinks our aura. It shrinks our light. It makes us feel selfish and worthless and hopeless and careless and no good and bad, ugly, stupid, all of these things. When if we just embraced those things, it would be the opposite of what those words are. You would be empowered. So I ask you to, if you find those bits and pieces of yourself where you feel are shadows, and even if you are a light worker, you have them too, and it will make you a more powerful healer, a more powerful being to accept them. And just like that hole that you feel, you'll be able to start putting those pieces back together. You'll start feeling more like a whole, more like the true light worker and earth angel that you are. And when we combine those, it makes you such a light worker, such a force to be reckoned with. Your healing, your acceptance of others, your magnificence will be shining forth like you will not believe. It's like a light that's out in the dark, and all the moths are attracted to it, right? And all the little insects and bugs and everything is attracted to the light. That's how it is. When you shine your light, even those places within you that seem like shadows, it will be attracted to it. So by accepting yourself as perfect with all the imperfections that you see, will make you a stronger and better person. You'll be able to accept yourself. And by accepting yourself and those shadow parts within yourself, you'll be able to accept them in others as well. Remember, everyone has that heart, and it's fragile. The ego within us as well is fragile. And that's why it lashes out so hard when things hurt us. It's trying to protect us. But when we nurture that heart and that ego and tell it it's okay, and accept all of the imperfections and all of the little blockages and these, those, and that's that seem to dim our light, by accepting them and honoring them, they will strengthen and they will become a beautiful heart full of acceptance, full of love, filling in that space with beauty. And so that area where it feels like is empty, planting a seed there of love and light will make things grow. And your beauty and your light as a light worker, as an earth angel, will grow as well. All right. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you can take just a little bit of what we've talked about and maybe see where your imperfections are your truest perfections. Those imperfections help you to help others with those same things. Maybe you've grown past them. Maybe your light has created a beautiful, welcoming space for your shadows and your blockages, so much so that it is just like a light bringing others to you to show them that they are loved as well in those areas, that if you can accept yourself and your shadow parts, then maybe they can too. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. As always, I'm sending you and yours love, light, and eternal blessings. Take care.